Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, welcome to E-Millions, where we highlight the moments that change the course of history. Today, we honor a man whose journey transformed not only himself, but the fight for civil rights across the globe. Malcolm X. Standing in Mecca during the HAJJ pilgrimage in 1964, Malcolm X experienced a profound shift. Surrounded by people of all colors, nationalities, and walks of life, he saw true brotherhood in practice, the unity of humankind that transcended race. On April 20th, 1964, he wrote a letter home, sharing how this spiritual awakening opened his eyes to the power of inclusion. No longer would he preach separation. Instead, he committed himself to working with anyone, of any faith or color, to achieve a peaceful resolution for human rights and equality. As he reads that very letter, remember, his words remind us that growth is possible, unity is powerful, and the journey to justice is one we must walk together. This is Malcolm X. This is E-Millions.
Never have I witnessed such sincere hospitality and the overwhelming spirit of true brotherhood as practiced by people of all colors and races here in this ancient Holy Land, the home of Abraham, Muhammad, and all other prophets of the Holy Scriptures. For the past week, I have been utterly speechless and spellbound by the graciousness I see displayed all around me by people of all colors. I have been blessed to visit the holy city of Mecca. I have made my 7 circuits around the Kaaba, led by a young mutawaf named Muhammad. I drank water from the well of Zemzem. I ran 7 times back and forth between the hills of Mat al-Safa and al-Marwa. I have prayed in the ancient city of Mina, and I have prayed on Mount Arafat. There were tens of thousands of pilgrims from all over the world. They were of all colors, from blue-eyed blondes to black-skinned Africans. But we were all participating in the same rituals, displaying a spirit of unity and brotherhood that my experiences in America had led me to believe never could exist between the white and non-white. America needs to understand Islam because this is the one religion that erases from its society the race problem. Throughout my travels in the Muslim world, I have met, talked to, and even eaten with people who in America would have considered white, but the white attitude was removed from their minds by the religion of Islam. I have never before seen sincere and true brotherhood practiced by all colors together, irrespective of their color. You may be shocked by these words coming from me, but on this pilgrimage, what I have seen and experienced has forced me to rearrange much of my thought patterns previously held and to toss aside some of my previous conclusions. This was not too difficult for me. Despite my firm convictions, I have always been a man who tries to face facts and to accept the reality of life as new experiences and new knowledge unfolds it. I have always kept an open mind, which is necessary to the flexibility that must go hand in hand with every form of intelligent search for truth. During the past 11 days here in the Muslim world, I have eaten from the same plate, drunk from the same glass, and slept in the same bed or on the same rug while praying to the same. I have always kept an open mind, which is necessary to the flexibility that must go hand in hand with every form of intelligent search for truth. During the past 11 days here in the Muslim world, I have eaten from the same plate, drunk from the same glass, and slept in the same bed or on the same rug while praying to the same God with fellow Muslims whose eyes were the bluest of blue, whose hair was the blondest of blonde, and whose skin was the whitest of white. And in the same words and in the actions and in the deeds of the white Muslims, I felt the same sincerity that I felt among the black African Muslims of Nigeria, Sudan, and Ghana. We were truly all the same, brothers, because their belief in one God had removed the white from their minds, the white from their behavior, and the white from their attitude. I could see from this that perhaps if white Americans could accept the oneness of God, then perhaps too they could accept in reality the oneness of man and cease to measure and hinder and harm others in terms of their differences in color, with racism plaguing America like an incurable cancer, the so-called Christian. But as racism leads America up the suicide path, I do believe from the experience that I have had with them that the whites of the younger generation in the colleges and universities will see the handwriting on the wall, and many of them will turn to the spiritual path of truth, the only way left to America to ward off the disaster that racism inevitably must lead to. Never have I been so highly honored. Never have I been made to feel more humble and unworthy. Who would believe the blessings that have been heaped upon an American Negro? A few nights ago, a man who would be called in America a white man, a United Nations diplomat, an ambassador, a companion of kings, gave me his hotel suite, his bed. By this man, His Excellency Prince Faisal, who rules this holy land, was made aware of my presence here in Jeddah. The very next morning, Prince Faisal's son, in person, informed me that by the will and decree of his esteemed father, I was to be a state guest. The Deputy Chief of Protocol himself took me before the HAJJ court. His Holiness Sheikh Mohammed Harkan himself okayed my visit to Mecca.
As I close this letter, let it be known. We must make it a point to learn, to grow, to adapt. We must open our minds and our hearts, to learn from others, to stand shoulder to shoulder with those who are truly for the cause. If we are to rise, we cannot waste our strength fighting among ourselves. We must not divide our efforts, because division is the tool of the powers that seek to keep us down. Unity is our greatest weapon. Knowledge is our shield, and cooperation is the path to the peace and equality we all deserve. Let's walk that path together. This is Malcolm X. This is E1,000,004. We live for democracy, and we die for democracy. Make a difference.